Welcome to Mr. Chalk's Revision Tips. In this video, we will look at
reflexes, the blink reflex and the knee-jerk reflex. So a reflex is an action, or a reflex action is a way that the body automatically and rapidly responds to stimulus to minimize any further damage to the body. They all follow the general path. So we get the stimulus, it's picked up by a receptor. That receptor sends a action potential down a sensory neuron, which is then passed to a relay neuron, then over the spinal cord to a motor neuron, which takes it to an effector that causes a response. So the receptor detects the stimulus and creates an action potential in the sensory neuron. So the sensory neuron carries this impulse to the spinal cord. The relay neuron conducts the sensory or connects to the sensory neuron to a motor neuron in the brain or spinal cord, and the motor neuron carries the impulse to the effector to carry out the appropriate response. The effector organ changes in response to the stimulus to avoid harm. You have many reflexes. In fact, much of your behavior is made up of reflexes that protect you from damage in some way. For example, gravity tries to make you fall over all the time, every day. So without having to think about it, your body constantly makes adjustments to keep you upright. So some reflexes make you blink when something gets close to your eye, so in that way it protects the eye. Vomiting is a slightly more complex reflex that protects you from dangerous things in your stomach and throat. The knee-jerk reflex is a sudden involuntary movement of the lower leg that can be produced by a firm tap to the tendon connected just below the kneecap. So the tap on the knee, on the tendon, is sensed by stretch receptors in the muscle. The muscle spindle produces a pattern of nerve impulses that are conveyed along a sensory nerve fibre past its cell body in the dorsal root or to the dorsal root of its ganglion and to its terminal on a motor neuron. So the nerve terminal releases neurotransmitters onto the motor neurons, which generate an excitatory or a postsynaptic potentials in the motor neurons and the dendrites of the cell bodies. So the motor neuron generates an action potential leading to the release of acetylcholine from its terminals on the muscle, which causes the muscle to respond to the acetylcholine by depolarizing, which causes it to eventually contract. The blink reflex is an involuntary movement of the eyelid caused by stimulation of the cornea by either touching it or by bright lights. So the path that it takes is that light from, if we've got to say B going near the eye, so light from the B enters the eye and hits the retina. So electrical impulses, so action potentials, go from the light sensitive cells to the sensory neuron, so the optic nerve. So the sensory neuron is connected to the brain or the central nervous system. So the central nervous system connects to a motor neuron. The motor neuron connects to the eyelid. This causes the muscles in the eyelid to contract and the eye to blink. So the main reason for the blink reflex is to protect the eye.
Thanks for watching.